next, let's go to Alabama, Wisconsin. The Crimson Tide traveling up to Madison to take on the Badgers. And I was starting to watch some Alabama film. The offensive line against South Florida, you were right, Aaron, just an abject disaster. Bad technique, bad ID calls, bad footwork, bad fits, bad head placement, just really perplexing. And, well, actually, I guess not that hard. They had a lot of new faces in there due to injury and shuffling guys around, and it definitely showed last week.
Yeah, it was really bad, Mike. So we'll see how healthy they are. I don't know if we've gotten any updates, but at the offensive line, but like Alabama as a whole offensively, I think Jalen has progressed. I think he's going to continue to get better. He has to, because I just think the staff is better. But it's hard to get better when everyone around you is just, I'm not like I say average, because they're all 4 and 5 star guys, but like not at the same level or what we're accustomed to seeing from Alabama. Like you said, O-line was horrendous last week. I do like the running backs. I like Jam. I like Haynes. I think they're good at that position. I still think there's a lot of juice that needs to be squeezed out of the receivers. Like Ryan Williams is still young. I think he's 17 years old. Kobe needs to step it up. Kobe Prentice. Like we're just not seeing the explosiveness of these 4 and 5 star guys again this season. So is it going to have to be Ryan Williams, a 17-year-old, that's going to every single game have to continue to make plays? If that's the case, I don't feel great about this receiving core. So O-line's got to be better. Receivers got to be better. And I think at the end of the day, too, you look at the offense, you look at Jalen, you just have to say, listen, they're already running him more, which I like.
Yeah.
You're going to throw the ball 20, 25 times per game, and you're going to have to run it 15 to 20 or 15 or 10 to 15 times. So 40 touches, 25 passes, 15 runs. Like I just need to see a little bit more run from him.
I don't know if this is accurate off the top of my head, but would that be what like an old Utah Alex Smith box score would have been like? Like my memory of Alex Smith is kind of that, a lot with his legs, with Urban Meyer, those early in the zone read.
Like Dak,
okay, yeah. All fair,
Yes.
all fair points. Dak, that is true, because Dak, I think of Dak as such a passer now. But that's really happened in the NFL, which is kind of surprising. You don't normally see that. Like
Dak was not a great. College, I mean, he was a decent passer in college, but he was known for the big, like for me,
that's what I'm saying.
Highlights of the big runs.
So I'm in a bit of a holding pattern with Alabama. Because as we said yesterday, I was really hyping them up in the offseason, especially the Milroe improvement I expected to see. I understand how the O-line, somewhat, how it looks so bad because they had to move guys around. I mean, Wilkin Formby at right tackle, I'm sorry, he was really bad last week. They got to figure something out. They got to maybe give somebody else a chance to adjust something more. I hope that maybe Caden Proctor gets healthy again. I'm not off Alabama, though, because, again, we saw this script last year, and the problem is you could say, oh, TBob, USF had him, so, like, Wisconsin's better. Okay, but I don't think Wisconsin's that good. Like, it doesn't matter that they're going on the road. It doesn't matter that it's Wisconsin. I still do not see how Wisconsin pushes Bama for a full 60 minutes all the way to getting a win, even if they have some early success.
Yeah, I agree. Like Alabama should push them around, but Alabama didn't push USF around. So like we can say all we want that Alabama should do this. Alabama should do this. Alabama should do this. Alabama should do this. But until they do it, like we can't just saying just because it's Alabama and they got the number on the helmet and they're wearing the crimson that they're just going to roll out there and just dominate, because they're not.
I didn't say dominate right now. I'm saying I could see Wisconsin keeping it close early, a la USF. But then I see Bama pulling away late. Again, a la USF. You know what I also see, though? If Alabama gets healthy, they lock back in, it's a bit of a wake-up call, and they go and fucking roll Wisconsin. What I don't see is a scenario where Wisconsin wins. It would be a Northern Illinois to Notre Dame level.
No,
to me. If Wisconsin were to win this game.
Calm down with that shit.
I mean, bit extreme, but
I'm not. I've been years now of saying like I'm not the biggest Tyler Van Dyke fan. Went back and watched their last game versus South Dakota. Like we don't know who Wisconsin is this year. They've played Western Michigan. They played South Dakota. I think Van Dyke has looked okay, not great, just okay. I like their receivers, Pauling and Green. Like it's year 2 in a brand new system that we all kind of scratch our head like, can you truly run this air raid offense at Wisconsin? You went out there and got the quarterback you think is going to be better for it. You got some good receivers on the outside. Can Tyler Van Dyke have a good moment? Like, we had a couple moments last year at Miami, like, oh my God, he's getting through. He's back to his old form. And then he went to shit. Like, is he finally going to get to the point where we see some more consistency from Tyler Van Dyke? This would be the perfect opportunity to do that. So, like, I think I'm with you. I think they keep it close. I think Alabama's still working on some stuff on offense, trying to figure out their identity, what they want to do, how do they optimize Jalen's talent level. So it's going to be a little bit tough early game on the road. But I think it's like USF a little bit. They will pull away in the fourth quarter.
Okay, so we're kind of saying the same thing. It just seems like you're giving Wisconsin a little more of a shot.
I just haven't seen anything from Alabama's offense for 2 weeks that makes me think like they're that high powered.
But Alabama's defense is still awesome, you know.
I agree.
And
I agree.
It's yeah. So okay, well, it doesn't matter. We're saying the same thing. Okay, for Alabama, this is a game in which they have to refine their confidence a bit.
Yes.
It's the exact same time that they did it last year. Kalen DeBoer is a really good coach, and do you know what good coaches do? There's an old saying in politics: never waste a good disaster, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because a lot of conspiracy theorists will say, well, look at what the government did here after this major event happened. And they're like, the government must have caused the event. No, not necessarily. It's a fallacy. The idea is this happened and it fucking sucks, but how can we use it to get what we want done? For DeBoer and company, last week fucking sucked, but you got out of there. You made it through Saban Field Day without fucking it up. And now you can ream their ass all week long in the film room and really lock them in to go on the road to Madison. And you know they're not taking USF that seriously, dude, especially not at home. They're kind of chilling, even with last year.
After what happened last year, I don't think so.
You know how it is. You know how it is. You know how it is. You think they're
no. After what happened last year down in Tampa, and then them almost losing that game, but this is still, I know it's USF and it's a group of 5 team.
These are Aaron's Tampa roots coming out right here, dude.
Damn right, Tampa roots, baby. You're going to take them more serious than it was a year ago.
Sure, but you're still not taking that as seriously as you're taking this Wisconsin team. So you have a scare that you survive. You have very clear areas in which to work on this week. I just think you're going to get a locked in Kalen DeBoer Alabama team. I'm betting on DeBoer, and I'm betting on the talent of the Tide, which is much more than Wisconsin than to carry this game. So, okay, you know what? You think it's going to be close? They pull away at the end. I'm going to say they dominate pretty much throughout the entire game.